You can always go for the.
Okay, yesterday we went to the sugi of Dayoi, so I heard that you guys like it very much and you want to chazer it tonight. But I'm sure, fortunately, I have to go on. So we will start from Chaf Hey Amid Beis. Okay, just to reiterate, we had the shita of Keren B'Shus Hanisik. Keren B'Shus Hanisik, Tarfon learns out of Kal V'Chaimer, that you should pay Nesik Shalem. Madach B'Shus Harabim, with Shein V'Regel HaPotter, B'Shus Hanisik pays Nesik Shalem, B'Shus Keren, B'Shus Harabim pays Chatzi Nesik, Ein Edin should pay what? Nesik Shalem. Chachamim said Dayoy, they said, Ifrich. Okay. So according to this, we're going to go ahead and make a Kal V'Chaimer with different variables. I know we're going to suggest that maybe Karen should pay, maybe Shem Regal should pay him. Maybe we're going to suggest a whole bunch of different variables off this Kal V'Chaimer. So we begin the daf on Chaf Hey Amid Beis, and we are 4 lines from the bottom. 4 lines from the bottom on Chaf Hey Amid Beis. That Shein v'Regel chayiv b'Shus Harabim. Shein v'Regel should be chayiv in b'Shus Harabim. Mikal v'Chaimer. Ma Keren b'Shus Hanisik. Eina Mishalim Elachatzi Nezek b'Shus Harabim chayovim. Shein v'Regel should b'Shus Hanisik Mishalim Nezek Shalem. Eina Din should b'Shus Harabim chayiv. In other words, again, we see an example of the variable of how we can go ahead and work with this. So therefore, if Madach Shein v'Regel, which is what is Nezek Shalem in Rishus Hanisik, and Karen is Chatzi Nezek, so Karen which pays Chatzi Nezek in Rishus Harabim, Einay Din, that what they should be chayiv Nezek Shalem Rishus Harabim. Amar Cross says the pasuk will be a bistayacher v'loy Rishus Harabim. Okay, mashma that only pay Nezek Shalem would be a bistayacher, and you don't pay Nezek Shalem in Rishus Harabim. Guys, you hear the limud, right? You be a bistayacher, you pay Nezek Shalem, but you don't pay Nezek Shalem in Rishus Harabim. Amid Aleph, read the Gemara, Midi Kula Karminon. You think I meant what? That you should be chayiv to pay Nezek Shalem Rishus Harabim? No. Palga Karminon. You should only pay what? Half. You should only pay half. In other words, Madach Keren, which Shane, that pays and Regel, that pays Nezek Shalem in Rishus Hanisik. Right? Keren, which pays Chatzi Nezek Rishus Hanisik, pays Chatzi Nezek Rishus Harabim. Shein v'Regel that pay Nezek Shalem in Rishus Hanisik. Einay Din, they should pay Chatzi Nezek in Rishus Harabim. Ubir b'steyacha, that would be for Nezek Shalem. In other words, so you could have 2 chiyuvim. You could have the chiyuvim Nezek Shalem and the kiyum the pasuk ubir b'steyacha, and you can have the kiyum through the Kal V'Chaimer of Chatzi Nezek what in Rishus Harabim. Says the Gemara, Amakra, the pasuk says, the Chatzu es kaspa. Now the pasuk reads, the Chiyigov shar ish es shari eyu. If a shar gores the shar of his friend, umeis, and the shar dies, umachar es shar achai, you'll sell the live shar. The Chatzu es kaspa. We're going to get to later on in the Masechta. We'll get exactly how the calculations work. So, so over here you're going to go ahead, what? And the Chatzu es kaspo, you're going to go ahead and it's kaspo. Here you're going to go ahead, what? And by Keren, you're going to do Kaspo Shel Zeh, the Kesef of Ki Yigoif, V'loi Kaspo Shel Acher. So the Kesef, what, guys, of Ki Yigoif? What's Ki Yigoif, guys? That's Keren. The Kesef of Keren v'Chatzu is Kaspo. But there's no Chatzu Kaspo, what, by Shein v'Regel. So, in other words, the Kal V'Chaimer is a good Kal V'Chaimer. I needed a pasuk to tell me you don't darshan Chatzi Nezek of Shein v'Regel in Rishus Harabim. Why? Because it says v'chatzu es kaspo, the kesef of Keren, and not the kesef of Shein v'Regel. Okay. Now, v'loish tei Shein v'Regel chayeves b'shus hanizik elachatzi nezek mikal v'chaimer. Okay. So why do you pay nezek shalem? Shebichatzi nezek. What's the kal v'chaimer? Uma Keren sheb'shus harabim chayeves. Right. B'shus hanizik ein mishalem es elachatzi nezek. Shein v'Regel sheb'shus harabim p'tura ein edin sheb'shus hanizik mishalem chatzi nezek. In other words, it's the inverse of Rav Tarfon. Guys, it's the inverse of Rav Tarfon, right? Madav Keren pays B'Shus Harabim and only pays B'Shus Hanisik Chatzi Nezek. Shein v'regel, which don't pay anything in Rishus Harabim, and they did. Should only pay Chatzin Nesek and Rishus Hanisik. Again, you see what it means, the variable of this Kal V'Chaim. It's fascinating. It says, what does the pasuk say? It says, Meitav Sadeh or Meitav Karmi Yishalem. What does it say? Yishalem. What does Yishalem mean? Meitav Sadeh, Meitav Karmi Yishalem, which is Mashma Tashlumim Ma'alya. Yishalem means Legamre. So again, the Kal V'Chaim is good Kal V'Chaim, but you have a pasuk Yishalem that you pay what? Mushlam. You pay against the amount. Another variable, V'loy Tehei Keren B'Shus Harabim Chayiv Kal V'Chaim. Karen should be Chayiv Kal V'Chaim. What's the Kal V'Chaim? Umash Shein V'Regel Sheb'Shus HaNizik Nezek Shalem B'Shus Harabim Petura. Karen Sheb'Shus HaNizik Chasi Nezek Ein Aydin Sheb'Shus Harabim Petura. Again, Madach Shein V'Regel, which we're more Machmir B'Shus HaNizik. We are making B'Shus Harabim to pay nothing. Karen, which we're making B'Shus HaNizik to only pay Chasi Nezek. Ein Aydin, it shouldn't pay anything in B'Shus Harabim. Rabbi Yochanan Amakra, the pasuk says, right again, the gamas hameis yechet soyun. What does yechet soyun mean? Ein chatzin esek chaluk. The din of chatzin esek, guys. This word yechet sun is extra, guys, because you said v'chatzu es kasmo. So what is the word yechet sun? It's extra. What's it extra to teach me? That there is no chilik in rishuyas of chatzin esek, right? So it's fascinating. We don't slug up because the Kal V'Chaim. Kal V'Chaim stays, but each one we need a pasuk to tell me not to dash the Kal V'Chaim in that way. It would work. It would work. Okay. Okay. Fred the Gemara, the Adam Chayiv b'Koifer Mikal V'Chaimer. Let a person be Chayiv for Koifer with a Kal V'Chaimer. Now, Uma Shor she'ena Chayiv b'Avod Devarim Chayiv b'Koifer Adam she'Chayiv b'Avod Devarim Tzarif b'Shebas u'Boishes Ein Adin she'Chayiv b'Koifer. Okay, what's the kasha, guys? The kasha is, so if a man kills another man, you should pay koifer. So right away you're going to say, "Come labor the Rabbi," right? So if you remember, we didn't do a Tosfos on Daf Dalid, but the Tosfos discusses on Daf Dalid. If a quick look in Tosfos and Daf Dalid, guys. Again, the kasha, the Gemara is asking that if a man kills another man, he should be chayiv koifer, right? The man should pay another man should be chayiv koifer. So Tosfos on Daf Dalid, Kriya Adam Shem Mishalim as a koifer. Fourth Tosfos up. Hiksha Riva. My chumri is do that you don't pay koifer. Hadei Mishalim koifer Mishum the Kim labor the Rab Mine. The Tiritz the Shogig Nami Pata. Shogig also will be Patim the Tani Bechizkia. Okay, and what are you going to say? It's b'shoigeg. It's also pata because in Elun Iris we saw Tani Bechizkia. We say Kamle Afilu b'shoigeg. It says the Gemara. The Oimeri the Lav Pirchi Klal. It's not a question at all. Mifna Mishum Kamle b'derab Mine. The Kanami ain't Shaykh Lahaskia Tani Bechizkia will come on. Perik Beis as we're going to see in Mashma. The Lav Kra de Love V'Layel Adam. If not for the Gezeres Hakosa, which we didn't do yet, have a Yalfin on Adam Yishar Sheischayiv Mason Misa V'Kaifer. May Allah patchway. It's a pasuk. I feel the shoygeg. Dum yidishum. So in other words, there is no Torah of kamle. There's no dinner kamle but the Rabmine by shor by kaifer by Adam according to Tosfos. Rashi says a little different, guys. Back by us Chavav. Rashi go down where the lines are thinner, about 5 lines down. The Adam chayiv v'kaifer kigoyin b'mezid v'lo yasubei. So, for example, he killed b'mezid, but you didn't give him masra. Now, if you didn't give him masra, the lesser bar katola, the loy bar golus. In other words, guys, Rashi's saying we would say kamle b'derab mine if it was with mezid with hasra, or we go to golus. Since neither one, in other words, he killed. The Adam didn't give him masra and he killed, and there's no Adam, so he's chayiv. He did it b'mezid. So Rashi's warning the question. In that case, you're not going to say kamle b'derab mine. Break the Gemara. In that case, where he kills b'mezid and there's no Adam, there's no hasra. In that scenario, let him be chayiv kaifer. Again, we want to avoid the question of how can you have a havamina of a tashlumim. Kaif is when the shor kills a person. Right. So here is Adam. The Gemara is asking that Adam should also chayiv kaifer if he kills a person.
I know, to me, it seems obvious that you can't create a field out of a lemur.
Watch.
The Torah said
we have a kal v'chaimer. We have a kal v'chaimer. We have a kal v'chaimer. Madoch shor, which is pata b'daled dvarim. Tsar Ripishevas Boishes is chayiv in kaifer. Adam that is chayiv in it's Tsar Ripishevas and Boishes. Ain't din. You should be kaifer. What's the problem? It's a kal v'chaymer. You want to learn Ein Shim in Adin. You don't learn a punishment, money from a kal v'chaymer. It could be that's another taisvis that we also didn't do. It's the plot before, but again, if you want to ask him Olam the Shakasha or Rabbi, I'm giving you Olam the Shakasha. Kal v'chaymer, you can learn that. The whole Gemara we're learning out. I mean, you're waking up now. What about the Torah says we just learned Shem Varegel? You know, we know the din already, but again, we're asking, we're entertaining the thought, and the answer is it's a pasuk to tell you not. So you see that in the Kal v'chaymer, the Yud Gimel Midas, you would darshan it, and you would be chayiv kaifer. We're just asking a side point, and we know there's a din of Kamlev the Rabbi if you chiyav misa and tashlum you don't pay. So that's the Gemara's kasha. So we're giving a heket timsa. According Taisus says there's not. You have to understand why Taisus not. He didn't speak it out so clearly. Rashi speaks it out. It could be different than Taisus. Rashi speaks it out. It's the bar katala. It's not a bar katala because there was no hasra. And it was, I guess, it was not karv lemezid. It was karv loinus. Okay, says the Gemara. I'll tell you why. Why don't you learn out kaifer? Because the pasuk says the following: in kaifer yushas alav, v'nasan pidya nafshay kecholash yushas alav. Kaifer you should place upon him a love on it, on what? On the shore. Kecholash yushas alav. Alav means what? On this case shore, on the nezik of his shore v'lo yala adam. In other words, you're placing on when do you pay kaifer? When the shor kills somebody. So you just a love on it, the shor, and a miyat. The shor is only as a result of the niske of your shor or your chayiv, but not your own. Okay, not your own. So again, okay. The yehi shor chayiv baba devarim mikal v'chaymer. Now let's go the other way. The shor should be chayiv nesek tzaripu in sheves. It can't be chayiv in boishes. Boishes has to have kavana. Uma adam shein chayiv b'koifer chayiv baba devarim. Shor shechayiv b'koifer ain't din she chayiv baba devarim. Amakro ishba misay v'le shor ba misay. It's the pasuk says the ish ki yitain mum ba misay. If a man places a mum in his friend, kasha asa ken yasaloi. Just like he did, you should do to him. So we darshan ishba misay v'le shor ba misay. Okay, so now again you exhausted many kal v'chaymes. We had gezeres akasav. Tell me not to avoid them. Iboilahu. Regel shedorsa al gabe tinoik bechotzer anisik. Mahu shetashal kaifer. Now, where is kaifer, guys? Kaifer appears in the parsha of Keren, fellas. Kaifer appears in the parsha of Keren. The shor gores 3 times, kills a person, you pay kaifer. Good? That's what a shor mu'ah pays kaifer. Right? According to Yosei Galili, you pay chatzi kaifer. Keren would pay chatzi kaifer, right? Chatzi kaifer. That's the Yosei Galili's das. So now, the Gemara wants to know, is there a din of what? Of kaifer by regel? If regel kills, would there be a din of kaifer or not? If he kills a man? Or, right? Well, you would say what? Yes or no?
No.
I am? What?
Yes. Okay, yes.
Yes is correct. Again, in the end, it's going to be a chiddush. It's going to be a chiddush that there's a din of kaifer by regel. Says the Gemara. Iboilu. Regel should dorsal gabe tinoik. I guess a child, because they can. It's more common to be able to kill a child through just walking along than a human being. Not a human. I mean a large person. Right. Bechotzer anisik mahu shetishalim kaifer. What's the din about paying kaifer? What's the stardom? What's the stardom of the shaila? Mi amrina midi dahave a Keren. Do we say it's like Keren? Keren kivin the ovid trey v'tilsa zad mane urchahu. Once Keren shtois 3 times and killed 3 different people, right? Then it's considered orche, u'mishalim kaifer, hachanami leishna. Here also, it's normal. So it walks along, and therefore you should be kaifer. Ideal Keren kavanas lahasik, hayin kavanas lahasik. In other words, if the regel kills, he's not killing with kavana. Regel is derech hilucha, fella. So what would the din be? What would the din be over there? That's the Gemara's kasha. So the stadium of the shaila is regel the first time like Keren 3 times? They're both orchei, or no? That the underlying reason to be kaifer is the kavana of the animal to kill somebody, and over here clearly you didn't have a kavana to kill somebody. So that's the reason you shouldn't pay. Tashma hichnis shoyroi lechatzer balabayis shaloi b'shus. You go into a guy's. Shimon goes into Reuben's b'shus. and he brings his shor in, or his shor goes in by itself. Reuven's shor goes into Shimon's rishus. V'nachol balabayis, and Reuven's shor kills Shimon, umeis, and Shimon dies. Ashar b'skila, the shor, guys, what? Gets killed. Now, do you pay kaifer, fellas? Guys, important. Do you pay kaifer? Usually when you pay kaifer, only when it's a mu'id, yeah? Only when it's, guys, the din of kaifer is stated by a mu'id. Good? So you'd say over here, you don't pay kaifer. Ubolov, bein betam, bein b'mu'id, mishalim kaifer shalim. Divrei Rebbe Tarfin. Right? Kaifer shalim betam, okay? If it's Divrei Rebbe Tarfin, kaifer shalim betam. Okay, so minoli. Gemara is going to ask, kaifer shalim betam minoli. Where does Rebbe Tarfin know this from? In other words, Rebbe Tarfin, it's similar. Rebbe Tarfin holds that Keren, the first time in Rishus HaNizik, is going to pay Nezek Shalim. He also holds that Keren in the Rishus HaNizik is going to pay a kaifer shalim right away. Right away. In other words, the parsha of kaifer is stated by a mu'id, and you do it 3 times. Okay? So therefore, if it's in Rishus HaRabim, if it's Rishus HaRabim, and it's a tam, you're not going to pay kaifer. Pashtus. Says Rebbe Tarfin, but you know what? Since I hold Nezek Shalim is the first time in Rishus HaNizik. In other words, Rebbe Tarfin holds that there's no din of tam in the Rishus HaNizik. The halachas of tam, it might be regarding Niske Gufo. It could be that you collect from the Guf, Nezek Shalim, only from the Guf. I'm not sure. But L'chaira, now the Gemara is going to have a limit for it. Okay, says the Gemara, Kaif Shalim betam Rebbe Kiva Minale, Rebbe Tarfin Minale. Where do we know the Schidish Rebbe Tarfin that you're going to pay Nezek Shalim? Lad Mishum, the Sublak Rabbi Yosei Galili, Dama Tam Mishalim Chatzi Kaifer. Rishus HaRabim. He learns, guys, that Tam pays Chatzi Kaifer. In other words, if you're not going from a 0, you're starting to go from Chatzi Kaifer. That's like Rabbi Yosei Galili. Umaisi lo mikal v'choyim meregel. And he's going to learn how to kal v'choyim from what? From regel. Alma ikka kaifer b'regel. Okay, what's the kal v'choyim? Guys, outside, this is very important. Let's get the kal v'choyim. Madoch regel. Then in Rishus HaRabim, doesn't pay anything. In Rishus HaNizik, pays kaifer shalem. Keren, which pays chatzi kaifer in Rishus HaRabim, einay din, it should pay kaifer shalem in Rishus HaNizik. That's the Havamina of the Gemara. Okay, that's the Havamina. The Havamina, guys, we're learning a kal v'chomer with the kaifer built into it. Again, one more time. Madoch regel, which in Rishus HaRabim doesn't pay any kaifer. Rishus HaNizik pays kaifer the first time. Keren, which pays chatzi kaifer, because we're holding like Rabbi Yosei Galili. Keren, which pays chatzi kaifer in Rishus HaRabim, einay din, it should pay full kaifer in Rishus HaNizik. That l'chayra. So if that's the kal v'chomer, then we can be paisha shayla. That what? That regel pays kaifer in Rishus HaNizik. If that's the kal v'chomer, guys, we can be paisha the shayla. Again, if your kal v'chomer is predicated upon the appearance of kaifer in by regel, so regel there's no chatzi kaifer, it's full kaifer, and therefore I can learn out Keren, which pays chatzi, and Rishus HaRabim should pay what? Kaifer shalem. So with that in mind, we have a source for the limit. Now, guys, here's what's going to happen. We're going to redo the kal v'chomer. I can learn the kal v'chomer without kaifer. Watch. Here's the kal v'chomer. Madoch regel, which is potter Rishus HaRabim from Nezek Shalem, is potter completely from everything. Is chayiv Nezek Shalem in Rishus HaNizik. Keren, which is chayiv chatzi kaifer in Rishus HaRabim, einay din, it should be chayiv kaifer shalem in Rishus HaNizik. In other words, I learned out the kal v'chomer without the use of regel being kaifer. It makes sense. I see we're more machmir by what? By Keren. Why? Because you're paying chatzi kaifer in Rishus HaRabim. It makes sense. Therefore, where I'm more machmir by regel because I'm going from 0 to full. Also, you should go from half to full. But you're not going ahead and being paisha to shayla because you're not saying there is any kaifer by regel. You're just using the halacha of Nezikin, the kal v'chomer of Nezikin. Again, kal v'chomer Nezikin is the classic, guys. Madach b'Rishus HaRabim. Keren regel is pata. You're chayiv Nezek Shalem b'Rishus HaNizik. Karen, which is chayiv chatzi kaifer mishus harabim, ain't idea it should be chayiv kaifer shalim mishus hanizik. Good. Says the Gemara. Let's see it inside. So says the Gemara. Kaifer shalim betam l'rabbi from minalei lav mishum desabla krabiyesi aglili the amar tam shalim kaifer mishus harabim u'maisnei mikal b'chayim regel. Madach regel doesn't pay kaifer mishus harabim, pays kaifer shalim mishus hanizik. Karen, which pays chatzi kaifer mishus harabim, ain't idea should pay what kaifer shalim mishus hanizik. Alma ikka kaifer b'regel. Let's be paisha the shaila. Rav Simi bar Nado yam naraya. Tana min nizikim de regel ma'asila. Right. The Tana he learns after the ziking. Right. What's the limit from the ziking again? Madach regel, which is pata mishus harabim. It's chayiv nesek shalim mishus hanizik. Karen, which is chayiv chatzi kaifer mishus harabim, ain't idin. But you're not paisha to the shaila. Okay. Now I don't like this kal v'chayma. Furthermore, v'lifach malin nizikin de regel shekain yeshnan be'esh. Okay. You want to learn out that you pay what full kaifer by Karen, from regel, mala regel, right? Sheyeshna be'esh. By regel l'chayra it has a chumrah of nezikin that esh is pata from kaifer, esh is pata from kaifer. So mala nezikin the regel shekain yeshna be'esh. What are you going to say by kaifer that doesn't exist by esh? Again, you want to learn out a kal v'chayma regel, and you want to learn out kaifer. How could you learn out kaifer? Right? Regel has kaifer. You want to say that Karen has kaifer from a kal v'chayma from regel. Ma regel that shekain yeshna be'esh, meaning that there is no din of kaifer by esh. There is no. I had this erase much better. There's no kaifer by esh, guys. We said in the first parak. Why? Because the person should run away. There's no kaifer by esh. What's kaifer? Kaifer is when you kill a man. So if the guy is alive and well, he runs away, and if he's tied up, yechayiv misals kamle. So there's no kaifer by esh. So the Gemara is asking. You want to learn out from regel. You want to learn from regel kal v'chaymer. You could ask on the kal v'chaymer. Right, the nezek of regel in b'shus hanizik we're machmir pay nezek shalem. Because why? Because there's a chaymer in b'shus hanizik that what you pay by esh you pay kaifer also. By esh you pay nezek shalem. By esh you pay what? You pay nezek shalem, but you don't. The esh pays nezek shalem, but it doesn't. Okay, your raya. Let's go to the raya. Your raya, madach, you pay what? Regular, you pay nesek shalem. So carrying should pay what? Kaifer shalem. I'll show you that it's not what. I'll show you it's not a good shot. Does Shane pay nesek shalem? Eish pay nesek shalem. Is the kaifer by eish? So I slugged up your kalpachayim. You made a corollary. If you pay nesek shalem, you're going to pay what? Full kaifer. Okay, that's it, guys. Guys, let's get it, guys. You're going to go again. If you're going to pay nezek shalem, you're going to pay what? Kaifer. I'll show you a limud that you are paying nezek shalem and you don't pay kaifer. Eish. So that's what the Gemara yes. So the Gemara. What? Yeah, that's the reason. But again, there's no kaifer by eish. But again, it doesn't have to be a svara. In the kal v'chayma, pircha called who does the job. Here's your corollary. Nezek shalem kaifer. It's not true. Here's nezek shalem no kaifer. That's it. Now mitaman, you'll ask. Eish has the kula of tamun, and regel what is chayiv b'tamun. You'll say malad tamun shkeishna bebar. If tamun bebar is chayiv, you'll ask my bebar b'kelim. Shav leim chalav lekelim is through a kelim. Malad kelim shneishna be'eish. So therefore, you're going to learn out mekelim tamunim. You learn out kaifer from kelim tamunim. Kelim takes care of the bar problem. Tamunim takes care of the eish problem. You'll say malad kelim tamunim sheyeshne ba'adam. Malakelim shmunim that exists by Adam. Therefore, what? So we slugged up, guys. We slugged up the kal v'chayma from regular nezikin. So therefore, al karcha we go back to the right. El shmamina make for the regel ma'asila. In other words, guys, look at me. Rabbi Tarfon says in Mitzias. What does he say? Guys, look at me. He says you pay koifa sholem in rishus hanizik. I have two possible kalvachoimis. Here's the first one. What's the first one? Ma le regel. That's potter rishus harabim. Pays koifa sholem in rishus hanizik. Keren, which pays chatzi koifa in rishus harabim. Einoi din. It should pay what? Koifa sholem in rishus hanizik. That was the first attempt, and that's the final attempt. In other words, that's going to hold true. The Gemara is suggesting, and therefore we have a raya, guys, that there's koifa by regel, right? That's the Kabbalah Chaimer. 0 to koifa shalim by regel, Keren chatzi, koifa shalim by regel, by Keren. Says the Gemara, now maybe you're not learning it out from koifa at all. Maybe you're learning it out from the Zikin, right? You learn out from the Zikin. Regel is part of Shusarab, Nesek Shalim. The Gemara slugs up that second Kabbalah Chaimer. Since the Gemara slugged up the seven Kalchaimer, what are you left with, guys? So now, look at the Gemara now, guys. So obviously slugged up Elolav Shmamina. When you slugged up the second Kalchaimer, make Kaifa de Regel Maisila. Reb Tarfin's din of Kaifa Sholem, that's a given. That Kaifa Sholem exists by Keren. It must be you learned it out from Regel. So you can be Paisha the Shaila, right? Alma Ika Kaifa Beregel. What does the Gemara say? Shmamina. That's final. Guys, understood? And there was this Kalvachayma and that Kalvachayma. We wanted to say this Kalvachayma was Kaifa Bereg. We wanted to do away with it. We suggested another one. We slugged up that other one, that Nezikin. Memela, if Reb Tarfon said you're paying Nezek Shalim by Keren, it must be because he learned it out from Kaifa Regel. Shmamino, you have a good raya. Okay, that a little long-winded getting there, but that we got there. Okay. Amalei Rav Achami Diftu Ravina. Hachanami Mistabra. The Ikka Kaifa Beregel. He's not glad the Leka Kaifa Beregel. The Tanamin is Zik in the Regel Maisila. Lifruch Malin is Zik in the Regel Shekanyation of Beregel. Guys, we went and slugged up the Kalvachayma. Where did we slug it up from? We slugged it up from Aish Bar. Right. If there wasn't Kaifa by Regel, why don't you slug it up from Regel? You could have said like Mala Regel that what? That there's no Chi of Kaifa. Ella, when you didn't say that, because it must be a regel, there is a chi of kaifer. Mainly you have a good raya. Allah shmamina mi kaifer the regel. My sila alma ikka kaifer regel shmamina. It's a very good raya. Okay, perfect. Adam muad la'olam. Very famous Gemara. An Adam is a muad la'olam. Bein b'shoigeg, bein b'mezid, bein or bein yashin. Whether he's accidental or he does it on purpose, whether he's awake or whether he's asleep. Simes ein chavera v'shibra es akelim mishalim ezek shalim. If he goes ahead and he blinds the eye of his friend, and or he breaks kalim, then he has to pay what? Nesek shalim. Then he has to pay nesek shalim. Now, Adam muad la'olam bein b'ainis bein b'mezid bein b'shoigeg miratzin is. I'm giving you a little information now. First of all, regarding sleeping, this Taisus we did see. This Taisus we did see. If you go, the Taisus is what? On Daf Dalid. Daf Dalid, the third Taisus up. The Yerushalmi Yesh, the Yashin Loy Mechayev. There's the Yerushalmi tells us that by sleeping you're not always chayiv. When are you chayiv? If you lie down and the kalim were there before you, and you know they were there when you went to sleep. Avalim yashan, if you're sleeping, they view kalim etzlai, and someone brings kalim afterwards. In other words, they weren't there when you lie down, and they were brought afterwards. The shivrod, then pata. Why? The heim garmulai, the person who brought him, they cause it. If he was sleeping and his friend came in and slept down next to him, the Rishon will be pata because when he went to sleep, there was no one there, and the Achron will be chayiv. Okay, so that's one. Be aware that when it says Yashin, it's not unequivocally across the board. It's not unequivocally across the board. In addition, go to Chaf. Here's a little prelim, guys. Chaf Zion Amid Beis. The Taisvis the first wide line in Taisvis. Go up the last line before it gets wide in Taisvis. Someone's going ahead and he's transporting a chavis from place to place. The shibur, and he breaks it. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Hashem Mechinim Yishava. Hashem Mechinim swears to get off the hook. Naisasachi Yishalim, he pays. Bahashlim in Lechayiv Naisasachu Pat Hashem Mechinam LeMechayim Mishum Adam Amazik. Right now, why does Hashem Mechinam swear, guys? If Adam Muad LaOlam Yechayiv Ba'onis, how can he swear to get off the hook? Right? Shma Mina de Ba'onis Kein Geneva Adam Amazik Pata. If it's oinus ken geneva, it's oinus that you want. There's two types of oinus. There's one that you could avoid and one you can't avoid. If it's an unavoidable oinus, you're going to be pata. That's mechadish taisvis. So we have two waivers, guys, in this mission that we just did before we did the Gemara, right? One, when it says sleeping your chayiv, that's provided based upon the Yerushalmi. When you went to sleep, the thing that nizik that you damaged was there. When it says Adam is a chayiv ba'oinus, that's only Oinus Kain Aveda that he could have avoided. But Oinus Kain Geneva, which is Oinus Gomer, that he'd be Pater on. Okay? So those are two good ideas to know. Let's begin. Let's see the Gemara now. Getani Simes Ein Chaveiro, Itam Yidashibes Akelim. Mahasim Nezakin Abardavan Loy, Af Simes Chaveiro Nezakin Lamaloy. The if you went ahead and took out your friend, damaged the Zah, you should have to pay Sari, Pushevas, and Baishas as well. Says the Gemara, no. Since you're not chayiv rabbi devarim, you only chayiv either mezid or karev lemezid. Only if you do b'mezid or close to mezid. Similar to what where two people are fighting and they hit a woman, because there it says ripa v'sheves. So therefore the Mishnah is b'chadesh chayiv nezek because it was mamash a complete oinus on the base. Okay, very nice Gemara. Okay, now how do you know that you chayiv afilu b'shoigeg? How do you know you chayiv for nezek afilu b'shoigeg? Right. So the pasuk says, "Kaviyah tachas kaviyah, petza tachas patza, chabur tachas chabur." A lot of words, right? And we're going to see now chayvel, guys. Drushes. All these words are darshan, but the pasuk. This is the most famous one. Petza tachas patza, right? A wound underneath a wound. L'chayvoy al hashoigeg kemezid. To mechayiv on a shoigeg kemezid. The Allah oinis kiratzain. Adamul oilam because it says petza tachas patza. Adamul oilam because it says petza tachas patza. Read the Gemara hami boyle litain sar b'makam nezek. I need the word petza tachas patza to teach me that even in a place where you're not going to pay nezek, you're going to pay tsar. Rashi brings the case. Let's say you burn a person on his fingernail, where it hasn't diminished his value. He'll get sold in the slave market for the same amount of price. So therefore, there is no nezek. But there is tsar, so I need petzah takas pasa to teach me that. How do I have an extra to teach me that adam muad la'olam? In Cain, if it's only teaching me the din of tsar, lichtav kra petzah bepetzah. Ma takas pasa, what even takas pasa shma min atarti? You hear both dinim. You hear tsar shloi b'makam nezek, and you hear the din of adam muad la'olam. Amarabba. So again, we're going to have a case now, and we're going to have a few variables off the case. Amarabba. A person is lying and he has a stone in his lap. He never knew there was a stone in his lap. But Ahmad, he stands up and the stone falls out. Regarding the zikin, he's an adam or the oilam is going to be chayiv to pay. Linyan ad devarim potter. Again, ab devarim has to be b'mezid or karev lemezid, and therefore he's going to be potter from tsar ripu sheves and baishes. Linyan Shabbos. Let's say the stone rolled 4 amas away in Rishus Harabim. You be potter because meleches machsheves asru Torah. The Torah says it needs a meleches machsheves. You have to go ahead and fulfill the purpose behind the melacha, and it has to be with kavana. But over here, it's honest. You're going to be potter. Linyan galus. Let's say the stone fell and killed somebody. It's potter because you didn't have a yediyah. It says shoygeg, guys. If you kill a person, shoygeg. You know what shoygeg means? It means you have a yediyah that it's wrong. And then you find that now over here, it's an honest. You didn't know anything. So therefore, you be part of Gullus. L'inyan Eved, if let's go, you go ahead and knock out your eye of the Eved or one of the 24 Evorim that he goes free on, right? That is plucked Rav Shimon Rabbanan. Whether he goes free or not is Machlokes Rav Shimon Gamliel and the Rabbanan. The Tanya. Harishahoyloi Rabbi Roife. Let's say his master was a doctor or a dentist. But Amaloi, it's too bad Dr. Press is not here. Kechol Einai, you say to go ahead, Ron, and and put some salve in the eye, and he does the sima, or chasal l'shena, remove the tooth, go ahead and fill the cavity, ve'pilu, and knocks the tooth out. So shichak ba'adan, the Eved laughs at his master. That's the Tanakama. No, it says shichasa. The pasuk says, when it comes to freeing an Eved, it has to be v'chiyaki ishes ein avdoyas ein amasai v'shichasa, and he destroys it. It has to be derech hashchasa that you had in mind. Mashenkin, if you involving yourself in a medicinal procedure, right, or an oral procedure, in that case, what you won't go free. So that's machlekes. Okay, so that's the case where he doesn't recognize he never knew that there was a stone in his lap. Now we're going to have the variable of that case. Okay, nice Gemara. One more case. Hikaba, he knew there was a stone in his lap, the shakha, and he forgot there was a stone in his lap. For Amad, he stands up, the nafla, and it falls down. Now let's go through each case. Linyan is seeking chayavin adam u'loilam. Linyan dal levarim pato because he still wasn't not mazid or karv lemazid. Linyan golas chayiv. Now you have it. Now why? Damakra b'shkaga. Nechlal dahavi la yediyah. He's a shaygeg. What's a shaygeg mean? He knew and then he forgot. He had a yediyah. And v'hahavi la yediyah. Linyan Shabbos pata. Why? Because it's still a shaygeg. Linyan eved that plucked the shemgil rabban. The same machlokes. Okay. Third variable. Niskaven lizroik shtayim b'zarik arba. He's mechaving to throw 2 amis, and it goes 4 amis. Again, he's mechaving to go ahead and throw 2. He throws 4. Okay, now let's go through each variable. Linyan is zikin chayiv adam u'loilam. Linyan dalad varim pata. Linyan Shabbos melechim v'sheves binin, and you don't want it to go 4. Linyan galus asheloit sada amarachmana. Rashi brings 2 pshatim. One pshat is going to be chayiv, the other one is going to be pata. Brings both pshatim. Taisu says the Rambam says you carve lemezid in this case. The reason you pata is you carve the Rambam involved from Metzeach halacha yud. He says it's carve lemezid. Rashi brings 2 pshatim, one chayiv, one pata. Prat niskavin this is like shtayim mizarik dalid. Le'inyan eved plukter shengul rabbanan. Okay, now at this one. Niskavin this is like arba. He wants to throw it 4. The zarik shmoin, he throws it 8. Now he wanted to do 4. Now, okay, now Linyan is zikin chayiv. Linyan adam u'loilam. Linyan is dalad varim pata. That wasn't your kabana. Linyan Shabbos boim, if he says kam lakim shetirtza tnuach, any place it falls, it lands in ilay. If he doesn't say anything, not Linyan golis ashalay tzada pratlin skavin lizrak arba b'zarik shmeina. Same like as Rashi either chayiv or pata. So like the Rambam pata. Le'inyan eved plukta the mishimul rabbanan. V'amar Rabba zara kli mereish hagag. Someone throws a kli from the top of a roof. U'ba'acha b'shibroi. Someone comes along and breaks the kli. Pata. The person breaks his pata. Why? We had this earlier in the Masechta because it was broken. Why? Because the koyach shvir was in the kli when it left the hands of the basamei karazlina. My timer mana tfir tava. He broke a broken kli. V'amar Rabba zara kli mereish hagag. So he throws the kli off a roof and there's a mattress underneath. So now the kli is not broken, fellas, right? If another person comes along and removes this mattress, like kodom b'silkon, you guys got to be pretty quick, right? Cool Papa Bell. You know what they say about cool Papa Bell? You can get out of bed, turn off the light, and be back in bed before it goes off. The key is you learn in this share. Okay, anyway. My timer, be'idin deshade psuki mafsik gira, right? When he went ahead and threw it off, it was mafsik the gira, meaning the arrow that was going through it was what? So now it's grama bin izakin. When he went ahead and pulled it away, so that's grama bin izakin. Grama bin izakin would be pata. Okay, so we'll see Bes Hashem. Bye tomorrow.